Welcome, folks, to another episode of Fitpod. And today I'm going to introduce you to somebody that contacted us and wanted to share their story. Now, I haven't heard his story myself. Reason why is because I wanted to keep it real. And he said he's got some very emotional stories, and this is the platform for those stories and putting that message across to inspire somebody who's going to be listening and watching to this podcast. So today I'm going to introduce Hassan Ali. Hassan, thank you very much for your time.
Assalamu alaikum, brother. Much
Assalam.
appreciated.
Not a problem. Thank you for contacting, first of all. It takes a lot to share your story. Now, I don't know what story that is.
Yeah.
It could be emotional, it could be a happy one. I have absolute no clue whatsoever. So let's get straight into it. What have you got for the listeners to inspire them?
Yeah, definitely. So in terms of I've been working out now for about a good 4 to 5 years. Naturally, I've always believed in hard work, discipline, and always trying to be a positive type of mindset.
Yeah.
And today, when I contacted you, I saw kind of a couple of your video clips on your Instagram,
Yeah.
and a couple on YouTube as well. So I thought, I've seen a lot of people doing podcasts online, and I thought, you know what, I'm like a people's person. I'm good, a very good communicator. So I thought the best way for me to kind of get that message across out there,
Yeah.
is to obviously to come onto your podcast today, and spread a very positive message.
Definitely
So,
go for it.
yeah,
This is the
definitely.
platform for it, and that's why I made this whole thing is for wellness, for well-being, fitness, health.
100%.
How does it affect your day-to-day life?
Yes, 100%. So in terms of where I was, unfortunately, when I was going straight into it,
Yeah.
when I was about 4 to 5 years old, growing up in Smallheath. Have you heard of Smallheath?
Yes, yeah, I grew up in Smallheath.
And just to be very honest, I'm not trying to degrade an area and say anything bad about areas.
Yeah.
But it wasn't the best of areas. Growing up in the ends, we call it.
Yeah.
So when I was in the ends, had all sorts of influence, and there's a lot of bad crowd, a lot of drugs and all sorts,
Yeah.
and crime. And
That's still going on, isn't it?
yeah, it's definitely
I
going
think it's
on.
getting worse.
And obviously in today's
I grew up in
society,
Smallheath as well, so
definitely,
I
and
can relate to that.
100%. And obviously in today's society, it's really shocking. It's really bad, and it's just gonna get worse. So I was obviously brought up in Smallheath. Obviously I went to the schools around in that area. When I was 4 or 5, my parents didn't know what was wrong. Didn't know what was wrong with me, because I didn't speak from an early age. I just used to scream and say very few words. I had when I was 4 or 5, I couldn't talk at all,
Right.
because they didn't know obviously the teachers at the time in the nursery and the reception didn't know what was wrong.
Yeah.
So obviously at that time I couldn't really speak, and obviously I was diagnosed with autism.
Oh, right.
So
okay.
I'm actually autistic. You wouldn't sitting here now, you wouldn't believe that. You wouldn't even know it.
No, I wouldn't. I didn't even pick it up before when you came in and we first spoke. And wow, okay, this is going to be interesting,
100%.
because I know a lot of autistic people, and if your message can be some kind of inspiring, brilliant.
Yeah, definitely 100%. So going on for what I was saying. So when I was diagnosed at 4 to 5,
Yeah.
I had there was a lot of difficulties and challenges I faced. So in terms of one of them would be physical interaction with people, not showing people in the eye, no physical contact, couldn't even cross the road.
Really?
Seriously, honestly, bottom of my heart, I'm not. It's not just a story just to make up. It's true. It's actually 100% true. What I'm saying is, as I'm saying it, in terms of trying to because as a kid, obviously we just go through the motions. We're very innocent.
Yeah.
We're very just like, we just go with the flow. We want to play with children. I used to see a lot of the children playing with each other.
Yeah.
And at times I was a kid that was left out, that never hardly used to play with anyone.
Is that because you didn't want to get involved, or just people like kind of kept their distance away from you?
I felt like it was a bit of both, because there was a part of me that wanted to get involved, because I was just any other kid.
Yeah, yeah.
I wanted to play, I wanted to interact, I wanted to play cricket, football, whatever it is. And I think since like when you're like the one in that group that's like the odd one out, I think kids kind of like pick up on that and think, you know what, this kid's a bit strange, is a bit weird. We'll keep our distance from him because we don't want to we don't want to know him. But I used to kind of make a bit of an effort as well to kind of make get involved into the crowd, like try to get things to do with them, trying to make them interest for me to be physically there.
Yeah, to create that interest for the other kids to kind of say, you know what, he's all right. We want to play with him, and I get it.
So obviously you've got an overall picture in your head of what's going on. So in terms of like going through obviously like primary school and like secondary school, it's always, to be fair, it's always been hard in terms of like maintaining friendships, and just like overall communication, and having like I think it's called, I don't know what they call it, like a senko, or like a teaching assistant that used to kind of like, I used to have one-to-ones with.
Oh, okay.
And I used to be like very like open of what's going on. I obviously my parents were quite stressed out, and I know, to be fair, alhamdulillah, I always blessed my parents, because it wasn't easy for them.
Of course,
it's
not easy for any parent.
Exactly, they have to, like, for parents out there that are putting up with with a child that's got a disability or learning difficulty. I salute you 100%, because it takes a lot of courage, a lot of patience, and a lot of love.
Yeah, 100%. You have to be a very, very patient, and you know, there's rewards in all of that.
Yeah.
But as a human nature, you know, it's human nature just to kind of get fed up at sometimes.
Yeah.
And people who are so patient with their children, it's special.
Yeah.
Not everyone can do it, you know.
Exactly. 100%. I salute all the parents out there. I mean, you know, but to be fair, I respect a lot of parents out there that go through that. So what I was obviously saying before, going back to obviously like through primary school, towards the end, like when I was in 5 or 6, because I told my brother, even like till today, I told my brother and parents like, oh, this happened in primary. I thought, how did you remember that? You were only a little kid. Yeah. You understand? I've got a very good memory of what's going on. So so going to like year 5 to year 6, it got a bit easier towards the end. I started to make a bit, you know, in like small interactions, you know, got to play with a bit of the kids, and I actually missed the primary school I was in.
Yeah.
So I went to Wincliffe. I'm not sure if you heard of it, Wincliffe Primary School.
Wincliffe? No.
You haven't?
Rings a bell.
It rings a bell. It's basically off Green Lane. And the teachers there were very supportive and very helpful at the time when I was there. And obviously moving into secondary school, when I went to secondary school, it got basically everything went downhill from there.
I was gonna say it's not very secondary school. Everyone's at that age where they just want to make fun of stuff.
Exactly.
It's not very supportive those few years.
Yeah. Obviously, like in my like now thinking about it, and obviously doing research as well, like when you're in primary school, like it's a bit of a hit and miss if you get bullied, but what at that stage kids want to play with other kids, regardless if you're like a different race, if you're white or black or Asian, they all just want to play with each other and just get on with what they need to get on with, and they're quite friendly in that sense. But moving to secondary school, it kind of got worse.
Yeah.
So when I was in year 7, I used to, like, from year 7 to year 11, I was just repeatedly bullied all the time because of my weight, and because I was quite chubby. Yeah. I was that kid that loved its food, you know. Like I used to come home, my mum used to like feed me quite well, feed me with all the rotia and like the salad and all that, you know what I mean.
The Mom, this is causing not problem within me, it's causing a problem in school.
Yeah. No, definitely. But obviously, I saw it as just like, I saw it as a means for me. Like, it was just like going through a phase.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's a lot of kids out there that were chubby, and then obviously as they progress further through life, they obviously got skinny, got quite skinny, I got into shape or so forth. That's basically what happened to me. So from year 7 to year 11, I was repeatedly always bullied for my weight. You know, they used to call me all sorts of names, baby face, like, you know, like you're fat. You used to always, I wanted to get into the cricket team as well.
Yeah.
And the kids were there, they all ganged up and said, you can't be in a cricket team because you're not good enough. And when I was in a couple of the PE classes, I was the slowest one.
Right.
So they thought, you know what, we'll use that against him.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
everybody wants to win at that stage.
Everyone wants to win, and obviously everyone's going through that hormonal change as well, as boys, as girls, or whatever. That's totally understandable. So it was all about that game. But obviously, in terms of like looking back at that now, I've come such alhamdulillah, such a long way.
Yeah.
And I support obviously my parents. I support my wife. I support importantly the Almighty as well.
Yeah.
We're praying
without
to my Lord.
the Almighty, there's nothing. Yeah, absolutely.
100%. And like I found something all those years, something to obviously fall back on. It's like an antidepressant, gives you that discipline, that motivation to just go there. And it's a very good environment. I found the gym, I found fitness.
Awesome.
So that obviously since I've started it, I've never looked back.
When did you start fitness in your secondary school or after secondary?
When I used to get bullied in secondary school, I kind of like started a gym, but I didn't know much about nutrition. Right. I didn't know much about how workout plans were, in terms of like rest and all those lifestyles. I was quite naive.
The structure of the whole thing, yeah.
So I was quite naive at that point. So I wanted to obviously like find out. I wanted to give it a go. So I kind of like ended up going to a small leaf leisure centre.
Yeah.
Going there and just trying to do a lot of running, elliptical and stairmaster and all these type of things just to get my weight down.
Yeah.
So when I went to college, I managed to get my weight down and go quite skinny.
So what was your weight before you started the whole fitness journey? What was your weight when you first went to the gym? You thought, okay, you know what?
So when I was in school, it was obviously regarding no muscle, no nothing.
Yep.
I was probably the highest I was weight was 15 stone.
How much is that in kilos?
Maybe about under 100.
Just under 100.
Yeah.
Wow. And at that age, it's not. Of course, it's not.
As a 14, 15, 16-year-old kid.
Yeah. Of course.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I thought the best thing for me to do was to like find something that I wanted to like. It was basically whatever there's a saying, whatever kills you makes you stronger.
Yeah.
So whatever, always even till today now, I always look back at the bad things that have happened in my life. So I go back to when I was bullied. I use that even in my workouts for motivation. The kids used to laugh, ha. Even the teachers towards the end, even the teachers used to say, you know what, you're not going to get far in life. They even said that. And to be fair, I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna like do what I need to do best as an individual,
100%.
obviously, and just do what I need to do, because I know like obviously I know he's controversial. A lot of the Western world don't like him. Andrew Tate.
Yeah.
So Andrew Tate, I do watch kind of like couple of his videos, and about the government system, how we're all trapped into it, and how we need to get out of it and kind of like find our own freedom. And obviously some people, that's obviously till today, that's someone that I was obviously look as like in terms of like lifestyle, just general motivation, general little things.
Of course, 100%.
I just refer that.
You're
And
not gonna follow someone to the T, but it's what they say at times. I mean, what he says, I don't go against with that, But again, we're all humans. We're not perfect. He's got flaws, and I've got flaws, and everyone's got flaws.
It's like, say for example, like at some like big influential people out there are quite controversial, but I've noticed as well, like in the media or even in the Western media, they can manipulate any type of video, take a couple of seconds out from one video and a second one and the third one, put it all together, and they can kind of make it out for me to be a racist or be any sort of like bad person.
Exactly, and that's what they've been trying to do with him as well. You know, all these out of context videos and stuff like that. But if you watch full length podcasts of his, and it does make sense that okay, maybe it was just a joke or whatever it was.
Yeah.
You know, it's not the way they put him across.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So when did you think that, you know what, let me try fitness? Because a lot of people get bullied and a lot of people don't take that route. You know, they end up going, just go deeper and deeper and deeper. And, you know, they either commit suicide or mental health issues and stuff. So what made you think, you know what, let me try this, it might help. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, going back to what I was talking about, like, when that period when I was bullied, like, I'll mention like secondary school.
Yeah.
Because secondary school, where it was more predominant.
Yeah.
So, when obviously there, I had, there was situations where I went through sadness. I used to cry in my bed. I used to, I used to say to my mom, you know, what should I do? Like, you know, this person's bullying me, that person's bullying. I used to come down to school and try to sort it out. You know, they tried their best as parents. You know what I mean? Obviously, even if obviously at the moment I'm not a parent myself, but eventually when I do become a parent, they've taught me all the cultural values, all what it is to become a person, a man to your wife, and the person I am today is because of them, and I'll always be thankful. So in terms of what motivated me not going down to the route of suicide or anxiety or whatever, there's up to moments
because it's very easily done, isn't it?
Yeah,
very easily done, because you're in that state of mind, and
there's hardly no motivation.
Yeah, that's the only way you can think of.
Yeah,
you know, or I don't belong here, or I've got no worth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what people will think when they're getting bullied for so long and they're overweight, and then everything's just all over the place.
Yeah, but the thing is, frankly, now, coincidentally now, I've had people in the last couple of months, people that I've went to school with, probably 2 or 3 people that had bullied me and said, you know what, brother, you know what, we're really, alhamdulillah, you've come such a long way, and when we apologise. Well, for what we've done.
It's a big thing for anyone to apologize, especially for something that's happened so long, and you know, and now you meet that person and they apologize to you. It means a lot.
Yeah, no, 100,000%. And I always see it as, you know what, people out there will say, I don't forgive this person, I can't move on, I can't I can't see from the past. But the way I see it is that yes. If they've said sorry, and you know what, I forgive everyone. If everyone has ever done anything wrong, whether it's bullying, whether it said something very spiteful, or someone says really bad against me or my family or whoever it is, you know what, to be fair, I forgive you. As a Muslim, that's something that we should do to move on. Or what's going to happen is going to have a lot of jealousy, hatred in our heart. We're not going to get past that stage.
And it takes you nowhere. And it takes you nowhere.
Yeah, 100%. So when we're talking about people that have gone through anxiety, mental health issues, and suicide, I see a lot of people out there. It's like saying, for example, that who's a WBC world heavyweight champion, Tyson Fury. Yeah. Tyson Fury, he's been through depression, mental health, want to commit suicide. I think he was over. I'm not sure of the exact weight. I think he must have been about 30 stone, over 25 stone, something like that. Yeah. So for him to have a major comebacks, train for so many months, and to go against Deontay Wilder, the first time obviously that was controversial. I thought he was robbed. Should have won the first fight. Second and third fight, he's gone, and that's inspiration. That's inspiration there. You obviously. When you're at that stage, you see people who inspire you. But in terms of from an Islamic perspective, and who's always from top to bottom, has always been the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the Prophet, and obviously like teaching like the companions as well, the way they lived and what he said, or what type of character to have to people out there, how to be a better Muslim, how to be a better character, how to give respect to others. So I went obviously through a stage that I wanted to go through, pay attention more to like more Islam, increase my imam, my faith at that point. I also wanted to like obviously started the gym just doing a bit of cardio just to get my weight down, which gained me a bit of confidence. So going into college, it was alhamdulillah, it was a lot better. So at that moment in college, I wasn't as big, muscular. I wasn't as strong, but I was just very skinny. So I went through a transition of being very like big and chubby in school, from being quite skinny and slim to being quite quite muscular and quite build overall muscle. So
how did it feel when you went to college and it was all different, because not being bullied and you're doing some fitness and you kind of in a state of mind that okay, this is quite different. How did that feel?
That felt, to be fair, my college days was really, really good. I really appreciate it, and I also talked to my friend about it, and say, you know what, how we just missed the college days, because that was a point in my life where I gained my confidence back. I gained a lot of motivation. I got really good grades in college. A lot of support around me, a lot of friends, people that I could talk to. At that stage, I kind of developed as a person in terms of communicating effectively with everyone else, having patience, resilience, discipline, all those key things you need in life. Because previously, when I was in school, I didn't do really well in GCSEs. I failed in pretty much everything. But obviously, going through college, getting to know a lot more people from different different backgrounds, different schools. It was based in a different area, so it was based in Hall Green.
People had that opinion about you in college as well.
I mean, they just
didn't say it.
To be fair, there were one or two people that have come from my school to that college. What they tried to do was that they tried to use the same technique and say this person was bullied in school and this is what he is.
Yeah,
so
they try to bring it forward.
How people there's people out there who are quite crafty and quite trying to worm their way in and try to use stuff against you. That's the society and life that we live in. And to be fair, as people, we just need to be extra vigilant of where we are. Left, right, centre, each corner. So when I was there, since I matured, at that point we matured, I was quite confident. I took no notice of it whatsoever. Just ignored it, took it from one ear out the other.
That's it.
And
what would you say to those people now? What would you say to those people now who try to kind of bring that negative side and bring it into the college days, because then they can probably think, okay, we're going to make a new set of friends. We're going to do the same thing over again. We're funny. We're wow. What would you say to them now? Look, this is because of that. So 100,000%. So what I would say is I'm not the same person I was 10, 15 years ago. I'm a completely changed person, a completely changed man. And if someone, for example, is trying to get, even if it's negative on social media or in person, or someone saying, "Oh, you're this, you're that such of a person," blah blah blah, whatever it is, I always see it as motivation. You're giving me motivation to do better. 100%.
So, saying, for example, even if I'm in the gym and they're saying, "Oh, you need to trim down because you're too big, you're a bit too muscular, you need to trim down your body fat," that's motivation right there. If someone's saying to you...
Do you reckon that's fat shaming though? Do you reckon that's fat shaming?
Some people see, in today's society, some people see it as fat shaming, you understand? Some people say, oh, it's like say for example, if someone's obese, you shouldn't say they're obese,
Yeah.
because it's wrong to say that. But the
But
way
is it wrong to say that? Is it wrong to tell somebody, look, you're overweight or you're obese?
the way to be fair, the way I see it is if someone's got a medical condition,
Yeah.
and if someone's gone down the route of they can't move their legs, they're on a wheelchair, they can't physically do anything, and over time
Yeah,
they're
that's a different scenario, isn't it? You can't.
Yeah.
And no one would say to somebody like
Yeah.
that you're overweight.
yeah
You just wouldn't. You know,
Yeah.
out of respect and whatnot. But if somebody's able and they're fine and they choose to be lazy and obese,
yeah.
is it okay to tell them, look, sort yourself out? You know, you're fat. You're
Yeah,
obese.
I mean, personally, if it was me, I wouldn't be horrible to anyone. I'd be fair,
Yeah.
but at the same time, I'd say it kind of like in a way. For example, you're sitting on that sofa, you know, your health's deteriorating. It's like in society and in religion as well. Even if you have a very bad health or if you're very unfit, that can cause a lot of problems in the long run.
Yeah.
And for your own mental health, and for your own body, for your own confidence, to gain that confidence there, you need to obviously, like, I see it as do it for yourself, not other people,
Yeah.
because not other people are not gonna push you. Even my wife today always says it to me. When you're gaining a good physique, you're doing it like you're obviously on like having a healthy diet, looking after your weight, all this stuff. You're doing it for yourself, not to impress other people, because there's people out there, like you don't know. Like, for example, there's someone who wants to, like, if I was, say for example, if I was really obese and didn't do anything about my health,
Yeah.
and you see a lot of good transformations on TikTok, on Instagram. Down the line, I decide to lose weight. You don't know what's in someone's head. Someone could be jealous and say, "Oh, you know what?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
There's a lot of jealousy out there.
A lot of jealousy, you know, evil eye.
Evil eye."
And that could just literally destroy everything you have.
Exactly, 100%. And I see it now. Obviously, like, I've had a couple. And obviously it's gone a bit off topic, but
No,
yeah.
go for
So
it.
in terms of like, I've had like office jobs.
Yeah.
And we know about office jobs. It can be very toxic. All sorts of jealousy, favoritism.
Yeah.
You know,
Politics and
politics. People's trying to do someone over.
Yeah.
Gossiping. You know, there's too much fitna in these type of environments, and I've noticed that now. I used to be a person that used to work in the offices. I'm thinking to myself, if I can suck up to the manager, if I can do something, I can get far. But the truth is that doesn't matter, because even though I've shown signs of like motivation, I've shown signs I'm a hard worker, it's all about who they decide, who they favoritize, who they want in.
exactly, yeah. 100%.
And since we're obviously, I'm just going to say it how it is, and it might be controversial or whatever.
Yeah,
There's
go for it.
obviously racially as well. Like, we don't, obviously in the South Asian community, like in the community, whether we're working for companies, like it is harder for us. You understand? Even though it's indirect, there's a lot of there's two ways: direct and indirect racism. There's in companies they show indirect racism in terms of like trying to push you aside, give you dirty looks. I don't want to work with him. You know, why is he getting a promotion, etc.
Yeah.
But you know what? We see a lot of the South Asian community today. We see a lot of people, you know, influencers, people who run businesses, who live outside the system, who alhamdulillah do a lot of wealth for themselves, who've gone onto the property ladder, who've done all sorts in their life. And alhamdulillah, they've done really well for themselves.
So let me ask you one question. What do you do now?
So what do I do now?
Yeah.
So I currently work in. So I'm working in security at the moment. So I'm working in an office which I'm deciding to leave to part ways from. So I'm basically like I'm upcoming. So I want to go down the route of becoming a personal trainer, a personal trainer online. Obviously, someone who can give one-to-one sessions, give physical advice. But I've noted and obviously in terms of like, also want to improve myself as well. I'm not going to give too much details because I know, there's people out there who can take your ideas or whatever. So I'll keep it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I'll keep it limited.
Yeah, we'll keep that limited. Obviously, we don't want to share business ideas or whatever.
Yeah.
That's not the point. But like says, you want to be a PT and make sure people what you went through that other people don't go through.
Yeah, and I've noticed as well in the market that there's a lot of people don't target people who've been through autism or have been through learning difficulties.
So your autism, because there's different types of autisms, right?
Yeah.
So what?
Asperger's syndrome.
What syndrome?
Asperger's syndrome.
What's that? I've never heard of it.
It's just titled as Asperger's. You've got obviously there's different forms. So you've got like Asperger's, you've got like ADHD, autistic, obviously the spectrum disorder. So there's different forms of autism. So obviously when growing up, I had quite obviously it was more predominant. People could tell I was quite autistic because of like the hardship and the skills, and I found it kind of like quite hard just to kind of develop. But I feel obviously over time now, since obviously going through life experiences, friends and friends and people who've just like done me over, just like gone just departed away, people that have said things, like speaking, like getting married to a woman that's strong and having, even like till today, my wife has always given me, has always backed me 100% with anything, with any idea.
Yeah.
And as a man, if you're married to a woman with strong character and who can take, and that's something that's unbreakable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's something that we need. We need that discipline. We need that push to say, you know what? Don't be lazy. Do what you need to do.
Yeah.
Go out there, make money. Do what you've set out to do.
Yeah, definitely. Because that's what makes you a man, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's what makes you a man. Going out there, win the bread, come home and feed the family.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line.
Yeah, 100%. And the thing is, in today's society, I feel like there's a lot of pressures like on men and men and women.
100%.
Because back in the day, I remember I've had conversations with my mum and dad. My mum and dad have always said to me, back in their time, it was a lot more. It was a lot more simple.
Yeah.
Everything was more simple. Everyone used to get on each other. Everyone used to talk to everyone physically. There was no social media. We used to go out. And if we saw someone we like, we just get married to them, etc. Stuff like that.
Do you reckon all these problems are now because of social media?
To a certain extent, I would say social media, if it comes from a business perspective, for you, for example, for yourself, if you want to spread awareness and share people's story, if you want to raise awareness for charity, if you want to start off a social like social media or an online business, 100%, I would back that. But when it comes to other things like showing off your lifestyle, your cars, your wife, this is what I've got. It's just going to give you the evil eye. It's just going to spread jealousy and hate. Yeah. So I feel like to a certain extent, social media is a good platform for business and for spreading a positive message and a positive culture out there. But in terms of what I was saying before, back what my mum and dad would always tell me stories, especially my mum, because I'm always close to my mum. She said in today's day and age, even back physically as a person, I'm quite old school in the sense that I like to talk physically in person.
Yeah.
I like to have friends and family around me, talk to them, how's your week been, how's your day been, and obviously in today's day and age, the youth now, everything's digital.
Everything's digital,
Everything's
I've got
digital.
Nieces and nephews, and it's just all digital.
And it's all sad because I see my nephews, right, and they're all on their laptop, their iPhones and iPads, just stuck there for hours. But what we used to do, as kids, we used to graze our knees, fall on the floor so many times, go to the park, get muddy. Playing the road, and there used to be a game called Kirby, which is quite known in Birmingham. So we used to hit it on the curb. Yeah. Games like that, it was a lot more fun, and we're grateful for I've had a childhood like that.
Yeah, of course.
And even today, we see a lot of issues in terms of like people want to go down the route of making money easily, if you know what I mean, in terms of like drug money, fraud. They see it as an option because there's pressures now on men to say, we see, for example, going back to social media, the issues are, we see their lifestyles in a mansion with a pretty wife, like, you know, with cars, etc. And that's the easy route for them. Yeah. But in the long run, the money that you're making is going to affect your family around you. It's going to affect you. You can't go to sleep at night. You know, you're going to have a criminal record. You're going to affect not just yourself, affect your family around you. Mm-hmm. And there's no morals, and obviously, and long term, it will affect a person.
It does. It always does. You know, it's easy come, easy go, isn't it?
Yeah, easy come, easy go.
And there's no blessing in that, like we say, you know, there's no barakah in that.
There's no barakah, 100%.
So it's very important. So how's your fitness journey coming along at the moment? Current stage?
Yeah, so alhamdulillah now, I feel like I'm kind of like at a very good stage in my life.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of like hitting a good amount of exercises and weights in the gym.
How often are you going to the gym?
I'm going to the gym a good like 4 to 5 times a week.
That's good.
4 to 5 times a week. I tend to do just like the chest and tricep workouts, the back and biceps, the pull days, leg workouts. But also I tend to switch it up as well.
Yeah.
I tend to also switch it up in strength and conditioning, where I'm just like flipping tires, grabbing the hammer, just slamming the hammer down onto the tire. You know, just doing a lot of raises, a bit of boxing, running. Functional, yeah. Because you want to like, I've noticed as well. Obviously, lifting weights is cool, but you also want to have I say this to people: train as if you're going to battle.
Yes.
As if you're going onto a battlefield.
Yes.
That warrior mindset of weights is cool. You can get a good body, you can get into good shape, but it's also about the fitness levels, your stamina, your endurance, your stress levels, how long you can last.
How does fitness affect your autistic side? How does it affect you? Because, you know, when they say if you've got ADHD or hyper and you go to fitness and it calms you down or whatever because you can let it all out. See, your autism was?
Asperger's syndrome.
What is that?
Asperger's syndrome, as far as I'm aware, obviously, sorry, I need to kind of like Google it and get more depth into it. It's kind of it's a form. It's kind of like a spectrum, like a form of autism. So you got ADHD, which is hyperactive. You got Asperger's syndrome. Some people who with Asperger's syndrome have it more than others. So over time, like when I was a kid, like because it all depends through life changes, through develop you as a person. In order to develop as a person, you go through that, and that can get better over time. There's no cure for it.
Yours has gone better then.
Alhamdulillah, you know what? I kind of like I thank Allah. You know, I thank the Almighty for it.
That's awesome. See, you did something for it to get better. You know, you had that mindset of, you know, I'm going to use this negative vibe around me from school days to college days, and I'm going to use that to fuel myself to make that change.
Yeah.
Now, not everybody has that mindset, you know, and that's something that you maybe is because you're the autistic side is kind of played with your mind. I don't know.
Yeah. So I mean, like today, like now, currently now, there's probably maybe small little tiny things, like if it's around the house or if I'm like aware of something, forgotten something. It happens. That's quite.
I forget all the time, man. You reckon I'm autistic as well?
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, maybe all of us have got some sort of or like autism or something, but
I don't know, man. I always forget things like where I've left my car keys, or I'm supposed to do this, I'm supposed to do that. It's just always, and my wife's just like, "What? You just left them there, or it was there, or is it?" And I was like, "Oh, God, I don't know." You know, now with the little one as well, and It's tough, man.
Yeah.
But it's amazing, Cole. It's amazing.
Alhamdulillah. You know what? I see that. I see marriage as a powerful tool.
Yeah.
Because when I got married about five years ago, I saw it as it kind of like developed. I say it developed my autism even further. Because my wife was there to always support me, to always say, you know what, like go to this. She always used to give me good advice, and she never wanted me to be involved in the wrong crowd. She wanted to always wanted to promote a positive culture around the house, around the family. She always wanted what was, she always wanted what was best for me, and it's hard to find like positive, like people, positive, like, or like good genuine people out there these days. Is very hard.
It is.
And even today, what you said about negatively getting bullied and stuff, as a man now, I'm more aware. I'm a lot more aware around my surroundings, the people that I talk to. If I get to know someone, is this person, is he showing signs of like good character? What does he do? Stuff like that. I'm always thinking outside the box now.
Definitely, you have to, because you've trained your mind.
Yeah.
To not let you go down that route ever again.
Yeah.
Of accepting people just making fun of you. Whereas before you have done that, and it leads you nowhere, but you've come out of that. And not everyone can come out of that. It's a very, very difficult, and it's a very dark place to be, isn't it? Because you're alone. No, I couldn't, even if you spoke to me, I couldn't understand it 100%.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I might be there for you, and I might listen to everything that you are saying, but because I'm not in that situation, I will never 100% understand it.
Yeah.
Or feel it.
100%. And another thing I wanted to touch up upon, what you were saying about the whole part about bullying, going just briefly about that again. The weird thing is, when I used to get severely bullied in school, no one ever used to back me up, and no one ever used to say, you know what, leave him alone.
So how did that make you feel at that point? How did it make you feel like?
I felt kind of like obviously I felt like signs of, I had like sadness. I felt angry. I felt like anxious. I felt there's no confidence. There's no motivation there. So that led me to doing not well in my grades at school at GCSE. Because when you're at a low point, even when it comes to like, if you see like today's, if it comes to like in fitness wise, for a boxer or a footballer, if they've gone through a lot of injuries, a lot of like backlash in the media, their career's going to fall apart. Yeah. So that's what's happened in terms of that. But obviously, in terms of like now, I still look back at it and think this is where I was. Look at alhamdulillah, look at the person that I am now. I moved out. I moved near to Sutton Coldfield. Alhamdulillah, I've got alhamdulillah, I've got a very supportive, beautiful wife. I've gotten a lot more closer to my family.
That's good.
So my family have always supported me. My brother, my sister, my nephews, my parents as well. So they've supported me on that journey.
That's amazing.
And may Allah bless them.
Man, definitely, man. It takes a lot of courage and understanding to, like I said at the start, to be patient with anyone going through such a hard time, and making that change. Now you obviously look back at things and use that as fitness and make yourself better. How's your nutrition like? Did you ever think that, what sometimes people say, you eat what you are, or what
you are what you eat.
Yeah. What's your nutrition like at the moment?
My nutrition like at the moment,
because I know you are overweight.
Yeah.
And you love your burgers and your pizzas.
To be fair, secret between me, I still do, by the way.
Bro,
but once in a while,
everyone does. There's not a single person on this planet is going to say, I don't like a burger.
Yeah.
Every once in a while.
Yeah, 100%. Now, so we do like once in a while, maybe once a week. I do tend to treat myself. Go out to like the Hub, Ladypool Road.
Oh, there's a lot of whole Ladypool Road. That's a bit too.
No, I look.
That's a big treat. That is.
What I do, I look onto Google
Yeah.
Or I look on Lady Pool, I drive up and down just to see. You know what? There's too many food places to choose from now.
there are.
Where should I have my cheat meal? You understand?
You spoil of choice.
Spoil a choice.
I
Exactly.
went to Ladypool Road a few weeks ago, after a very long time,
Yeah.
and I was gobsmacked with the amount of food places there are, and
Yeah.
and they're all busy, mashallah, you know, great, but the choice is endless. I didn't know where to eat. Honestly, I was just like, I don't know what to eat, where to eat, and that's it. And I just had it, a burger meal for the sake of having one.
Yeah, but to be fair, I've always been more into my grill food.
Yeah,
like grill food, like rice, chicken, half a chicken, and you know, food
That's
like
the healthy stuff, isn't it?
lamb chops and stuff like that. So I've always been into that. So in terms of like my diet now, I've just had like some a bit of kind of like scrambled eggs and some avocado. So after this podcast shortly, I'll be going like to the gym to do a back and workout and do like half an hour of cardio.
Awesome.
So in terms of like my nutrition, nutrition's coming quite long, very good. Obviously, in terms of like, there's a lot of people out there that use obviously a performance enhancing drugs.
Yeah.
If someone wants to go down that route, that's entirely up to them. But personally, from my point of view, I see it pointless because in terms of like longevity, in terms of like going through like your 40s, your 50s, your 60s, it's like if you do ever live that long, or like you want to obviously like keep your health in good shape.
Yeah.
You don't want to like.
Now?
Huh?
How old are you now?
How do you think?
Not on camera, bro. About 27?
You're the first person that's got that. You're the first person that's got that. People say I look 22, 23, 24, and you know what? That's that. I say, you know what? I take it as a compliment. That's all the nutrition and all the fitness, isn't it? So.
Yeah, one fitness guy knows the other fitness guy, so.
Exactly.
No, that's good. 27, you know, you look well for your age.
Yeah.
I know 27-year-olds and they look absolutely awful.
Yeah.
They don't look after themselves, and there's nothing wrong with looking after yourself, man. You have to look after yourself in order to look after your loved ones.
Yeah, 100%. And obviously, even in terms of like just outside gym, I'm always looking ways to improve my health, improve my mental health as well.
That's more important.
So in terms of like having hijama, fire cupping, chiropractor, massages, just sitting in the sauna and steam room, even that, like, that can do really good as well.
Of course. It always does, because, you know, it's not always about looking after yourself being in the gym. It's more important looking after yourself outside the gym.
Yeah.
You know, so whereby you could go to the gym, but you're eating crap all the time, it's pointless.
Yeah.
You know, but where if you go to the gym 3 times a week, and then the rest of the week you look after yourself, your food, your diet, your nutrition's on point.
Yeah.
Those 3 days are more than enough.
Exactly, but to be fair, the weird thing is, I've seen not everyone, but some individuals out there, I've seen them like train very hard. They still train very hard, like in the gym or whatever, but they eat more junk food than I do, and they still look cut. I thought, how on earth?
I know a few people like that, and I tell them,
brother,
you know what,
brother, you're blessed with good genetics.
There's a couple of guys that come to our gym, and I tell them, I says, look, bro, I hate the way you look, the way you eat, man, because he eats anything and everything, but he's absolutely shredded, and it's strong. Yeah. And I'm thinking, oh God, you know, I told you could have stopped laughing.
What the truth is to do down with their metabolism and their genetics.
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah, some people are let's say it how it is. Some people are blessed with better genetics than others.
Oh yeah.
Some have to. For example, for me, I've got average genetics, so I've got to work harder than someone who just eats junk food and still looks shredded.
Exactly.
So that's how
everyone's different. That's what makes life so interesting. If everyone was the same, then it would be boring. Everyone would be in shape, and
exactly.
And then what? Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
Everyone's different. Everyone's on a different level of fitness.
Yeah.
And that's what makes life interesting.
Yeah.
Because when you see people from in the gym from all walks of life.
Yeah.
And you get to meet people, you get to make friends with people, and then you listen to their stories, and you would never know what people are coming from. Like today, you just messaged me, I want to share my story.
Yeah.
I said, fine. That's the whole point. And till today, I didn't know your story, and it's a very moving story, but moving in a very positive way.
Yeah, 100%.
You took that negativity and turned it into something positive and made it better for yourself.
Yeah.
And not everyone can do that, and that's amazing. So, what would you say to somebody who's going through the same scenario, being bullied, being overweight, and God knows, because you were overweight, you were being bullied, you're autistic, it's not a good mixture.
Yeah, 100%.
So what would you say to those people that are going through problems and issues and being bullied?
Yeah.
What would you say to them? What piece of advice would you give them?
So one piece of advice I'd give is to never ever give up.
Yeah.
Even if you're the lowest part of your like life.
Yeah.
The first thing is never ever give up. Even if you're suicidal, that's the worst thing you can ever do is suicide, and you're just giving up to life. You're giving up altogether.
Yeah.
You never want to give up. So I feel like the best advice I can give, since I've been there and done that from my point of view. There's other people's stories out there that you can see online. You can obviously watch inspirational videos. Like when I was doing it, there wasn't a lot of inspiration videos. We weren't living in that moment.
Yeah.
So I just had to do it as it is.
Yeah.
Just obviously go through my own mindset, go speak to different people, just do what I had to do. So we're blessed in a time where we've got a lot of, whether it's someone who, I don't know, so Tyson Fury, Andrew Tate, whether it's athletes, people who've been overweight, looking videos on TikToks, like bodybuilders that have been fat and want to get into shape and get cut. Look at those images and those stories and turn it into motivation. Use your negative experiences. People have said loads of hateful things against you, negativity against you. People that even if it's like not friends but family. Obviously, there's a lot of families out there that are broken.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Even if it's like your parents are not getting on the verge of getting divorced or anything like that. Just find something that you're passionate about. That's what I would say. Passionate. I found something that I was passionate. I wanted to get into it because at the first time when I was into it, I was the slowest. I was like the fattest and slowest kid in the school. I couldn't run. They didn't want me on the cricket team. They didn't want me to do anything, but I still believed it. I still had that belief. I found something. So I prayed. I got more closer to in my own religion. I found different ways to distract yourself from the negativity.
Yeah.
That's what I say. Distract yourself from negativity. Still be positive. Even if people are negative against you, still be positive because you're the bigger and better person.
Yeah.
You can do. You want to be a positive role model. There's people out there that have been negative to other people, that have taken it the wrong way, gone on drugs, gone on alcohol, antidepressants, all sorts. You name it. But there's different resources and there's different ways of combating it, because as we know, people are in it for themselves. Like a lot of people, let's really say as people are in it for themselves these days. People want to do that. People want to do their own thing. No one gives a crap about you. Yeah. Let's be honest.
Yeah, that's the reality.
Exactly. You can only make a change. You can do it. You can have to get off your chair, get off whatever you're doing, and just have I'll use this term. Have a warrior mindset.
Yeah.
Be in a state where you've distracting us. For example, this podcast that came on today, I messaged you on Instagram to say I want to come on here. I'm exploring my options at the moment. Mm-hmm. I'm looking for ways. I'm taking risks and looking at ways I can improve myself. I still want to improve myself.
There's always improvement.
There's always areas for improvement.
Until the day we die.
Exactly.
That's the day it stops. Well, that's the day it should stop.
Yeah.
Well, it will stop, but
yeah.
But anything before that, there's always room for improvement, and that could be in any part of life. Your fitness, your health, your nutrition could be better.
Yeah.
Your mindset mindset could be better, your business could be better, you could be making more money, and
Exactly.
there's so many things.
It's like a never ending circle. It's like a never ending circle.
It never is.
Yeah.
And that's just human nature. And at the end of the day, you have come out of the tunnel. There was light. So for somebody who's going through this, there's always light at the end of the tunnel. Now, how far is that tunnel, or how long is that tunnel? It depends on your mindset.
Yeah.
Right? Now, how did fitness help you with all of this? And how did fitness make you overcome this?
Yeah. So how fitness helped me as an individual, it gave me I see it as an all rounder in different ways.
Yeah.
So it gave me confidence within myself mentally, physically. I also met a lot of friends, a lot of people in the gym that I could talk to. You create a network when you're in the gym, in the lifestyle. Even in Birmingham as well, you see a lot of fitness people don't know it. Even Birmingham's a big city, but everyone knows each other.
They do.
It's true, isn't it? It's kind of weird. So, so like there's obviously you can create a network there. You can create a network. There's always areas for improvement you can get into.
Yeah.
Even if you're into fitness and you're a PT, you can go beyond that. Launch a brand.
So when are you starting your PT session? So for somebody who's had this, who are going through this, and they are not comfortable in talking to a PT, because obviously not everyone goes through what you are going through, and then they've become a PT. So you've gone through what they are going through, and you've become a PT to help other people. So if anyone is listening, they can. When are you gonna start this service?
It will be soon. As I mentioned before, I don't want to give too much details.
Yeah.
I'll keep it.
So just follow him on his Insta and on his socials and
Rage's Fitness, by the way.
Which one is it?
Rage's Fitness Instagram.
Rage's. That's what. Yes. That's.
Fitness,
I was thinking Rage's Fitness. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what you're gonna call yourself.
Yeah,
like
that's
your
fine.
brand.
Yeah, my actual brand. So that's the thing. Obviously, with fitness, it opens a lot of doors. Whether if you want to compete, get to the stage of competing, if you want to launch a clothing brand, for example, getting the chance of doing one-to-one PT sessions, an online fitness coach, getting into even the fertility side, the sports massages and cupping, and so you can get into that as well.
Yeah.
There's all sorts of things you can get into and improve yourself, and that's why I chose to rely on fitness, and I wanted to pursue that. I see a lot of people in fitness that are very happy.
Yeah.
Even I wanted to move away from where I was working through the office environment. But there's a lot of let me just say how it is. There's a lot of negativity when I was in the office environment.
Because that's what.
There's even people that would I could see it. They were jealous of me. I thought, why are you jealous? Say alhamdulillah. Say be grateful for what you've got.
Yeah.
There were people that used to see us used to give me all sorts of weird looks, and I thought, there's no need for that. There's no need.
But then that's what it comes down to, doesn't it? It's just jealousy. It's the mindset of people rather than being happy for someone.
Yeah.
And it genuinely makes you happy. When you're happy for someone, you get blessed with more.
Yeah.
And it happens.
Yeah. 100,000%. And the way I see it is good karma. When you're good to people and you give respect, my parents have told me, when you give respect to other to people, you'll get that same respect back. If you do something good for someone, you'll get that same back at some point. So it's good karma.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But obviously down the route of people trying to do people over, it's at some point it will come down and it will be a life lesson.
Yeah, 100%. It always comes back to you.
Yeah.
It always does. And that's the scary part. So why would you want to take that energy, that negative energy, and just live with it where you don't need it, and you can just be happy for people and be happy yourself? Yeah,
and you even see today in terms of the Asian culture, the Asian community in the UK now. I feel like now they've lost their they've lost their cultural values, and we want to get into how the Western kind of like the Western are like. For example, like we see a lot of like remember back in my parents and like even like now something that I do. If I have guests over, I'll always offer them like a cup of tea. I'll come down to my house. We'll make you loads of food, stuff like that. But
I'm gonna come down to your house.
Definitely.
I've just invited myself.
Oh, definitely. We can even have a chat over there outside of this podcast. I'll be up for that. I'll be up for that.
We can meet at the gym, bro. There's plenty of places we can have a chat.
Yeah, 100%.
But your story is inspiring, and I hope somebody who's listening takes everything that you've said, a positive message, and there's always, light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
And we can sit here all day and talk about everything. Like, I'm sure have you got any other stories?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of like what you've spoken about, I mean, I understand there's people out there that have gone through a lot worse than I have, but it's obviously everyone. I see that everyone's got their own story. Everyone's got their their starting point.
Yeah.
You see people like I see people like today either on social media or in person. As you mentioned about jealousy and hatred, you know what? There's no need for it.
Yeah,
if it's later on in life, whether it's you get into your 30s, you get a business, or whether you get financially successful when you're 40s, we all have a starting point. It doesn't matter what age. Age is just a number.
Yeah.
Wherever whenever it clicks, it clicks.
That's it.
Yeah.
And that's the bottom line. When it clicks, it clicks. So
Yeah.
you just gotta kind of look for that click, and it's always there.
Yeah,
It's always,
100%.
no matter what's happening in your life.
Yeah.
That click is always there. You just gotta find it. And just before we finish off, people who are going through this, are there any places where they can seek help? Any someone that you went to, who you spoke to, and they said, yeah, you need to do X, Y, and Z. Are there any helplines or people? What's the best form of how people can get out there if you're being bullied or you're going through trauma?
I feel like now there's a lot more services out there compared to before. Because before it was kind of like some people used to listen to it and you just used to shovel it down. And be like, oh, okay, like we'll try to deal with it as much as we can. You can obviously go on search on the internet. There's obviously like I think there's one called Healthy Minds.
Right.
Like that's like a service. There's all sorts of services out there. There's all sorts of help out there. Google. But even if you're like, for example, if you follow the Muslim or Islamic faith, and it's something I've noticed of changing myself as well. That even when you keep on your deen and you try to do as much as you can, keep on with your prayers, keep and pay attention. That will also help you out spiritually inside.
Yeah.
That spiritual meditation, and also find ways which you'd love to do. Find ways which will distract you. For example, with me, even if I've had a rubbish day at work, or if I've had like a little argument with the wife or something like that, something petty, I'll go to the gym. I'll use that as motivation. Yeah. Anything little, anything major, just go out there. Even if you're going down the route of fitness, just find a way. Even if it's like lifting weights, or even if it's boxing training, kickboxing, anything. Even with like boxing, kickboxing, it'll teach you discipline, and it'll take your mind away from the world. So you're basically in your zone. You're in the dungeon, and you're here, and you're ready for anything.
Yeah. It's you versus you.
It's you versus you. That's it.
That's it. And if you are better than yesterday, then we're moving towards positive side.
Exactly.
So every day is a new day, and every day is a challenge to be better than yesterday.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, you happy with that?
Yes, 100%. Yeah.
Well, Hassan, we could sit here talk about anything and everything all
Exactly,
day,
yeah.
but all good things have to come to an end.
Yes.
And it's a pleasure meeting you. It's the first time I've met you as well, and hopefully it's not the last time. We will definitely arrange a time at the gym or something. We'll do a workout together. You know, it's nice to be
100%.
local. And man, it's been amazing listening to your story and where you've come from and where you are now. And you know, you've beat the odds. You know, you've beat people who were making fun of you. They apologized to you, and that's amazing. You know, and you have a totally different mindset now. And I hope, and I really, really hope, whatever you do in life, you know, is that if it's PT or whatever, it's totally successful for you. And I know loads of PTs. You know, you can always come to our gym Aesthetic across the road, and there's a bunch of PTs out there, man, in there. And Wahid was here before you. He runs his own Aesthetic Health and Fitness, and it's a bundle of experience, knowledge, everything that you need to kind of get onto that PT ladder. And I'm sure he'll help you, and everyone out there is out there to help you. And I really hope it will all works out for you. It's been amazing, and I hope that anyone who's listening now, who's going through the same traumas and bullying and all sorts, I hope this podcast actually helps you know that there's always a positive and there's always light at the end of the tunnel. Never give up, be better, and just forgive and forget and move on, because that's the only way you're going to kind of overcome that.
You'll always stay hungry.
And always stay hungry. Not for food.
Not for food, yeah.
You'll stay obese that way.
Yeah.
But wicked. Hassan, it was absolute pleasure to meet you, bro.
Yeah, it's been a
Thank you
pleasure.
very much for coming and giving me your time, giving us your story. And I really hope it makes a change in someone's life out there. And thanks again.
Yes. Thank you so much, brother.
Thank you.
Thank you.